Here are the 5 AI trends you need to be following in 2026, part 2. So one of the biggest shifts that I'm seeing in the industry is a lot of companies, especially larger enterprises, moving away from proprietary cloud-based models like Claude or GPT or Gemini, and actually hosting their own models, open source models on their hardware and trained on their own data. Now, there's a bunch of reasons why a company might want to do this, but it really boils down to 3 main ones. So the first reason is cost. I'll link a really interesting article I read from this NVIDIA exec where he actually talks about how at enterprises, the cloud API costs actually eclipse what it would cost to hire a human to do the exact same workflow, which in reality is like the whole point of people using AI, right? Is to be able to automate workflows so you don't have to hire a person and people can work on, higher leverage tasks. But in reality, what's ended up happening is these models are so big and so expensive to host and serve that, Anthropic and OpenAI are charging a ton for API costs. And they're actually starting to eclipse actually just hiring a person to do the workflow. The second main reason is latency. So whenever you have your data sitting on your laptop and you're using a cloud API, what ends up happening is that data goes from your laptop, all the inputs, all the prompts, goes from there to a data center for Anthropic or OpenAI. And so there is some network latency and round trip for the data to go from here to that data center and then to come back. Now, this doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if you actually think about like an agentic workflow or a chatbot on your website, that type of online inference workload, it's really important to have the time to first token as low as possible. So if you do host a model locally on your laptop, if it's on your laptop or if it's on a GPU in your office, whatever, like you can expect the network round trip to be much lower. So that time to first token is much better. The third reason is data sovereignty and security. So a lot of companies don't really want to take their proprietary like secret sauce data or their code bases and basically send them to Anthropic and OpenAI. I know they talk about, they don't, train their models on your data, but who knows? So a lot of companies don't want to have their data there. So they do want to host it, on their own laptop or, in a GPU or a data center that they own. So none of their data leaves their network or their environment. Now, there is one caveat when it comes to security that I do want to mention that I don't think a lot of people talk about. If you use OpenAI or if you use Anthropic, the odds that that model is been tampered with or has any malintent is very low because, they're trusted entities, quote unquote. But if you take a model that you're downloading from the internet, from Hugging Face or whatever, you don't really know who has tampered with the model. So it's really important to understand like model provenance, because if not, you're essentially just downloading a file from the internet that you have no idea where it came from. So you do need to do that one additional step before doing it and making sure that that model isn't fully tampered or altered in a way that could be negative for you and your business.